It's not a bad way to throw away 90 minutes of your life. Believe me when I say that.
那个女孩呢，刚刚被未婚夫甩了，失恋又失婚。
你是谁啊？
我是弯的。
Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is James Baldwin, and this is my review of Paris Holiday. James Yoon has directed more than a dozen films, including Every Dog Has Its Date and Crazy in the City. He also directed Short of Love and My Sassy Hubby. But I watched Paris Holiday anyway. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. It was a much better experience than I was expecting. I'm not saying it's a great film, I'm just saying that it didn't annoy me, which, when you look at it, is a miracle. There's wine and museums and estates and dancing and art and luxury cars, and I still liked it. It's set in France, and I watched the whole thing. That's a miracle. Louis Koo stars as a businessman with a broken heart, who temporarily relocates to Paris to cut his losses by managing a wine company. Alex Fong the Elder plays Michael, a Chinese expatriate whose hustle is strong. He arranges a flat for Kit, but it's half occupied by a recently jilted art student played by Amber Kuo. The way Ms. Kuo stereotypically overplays this character, I thought her Cantonese name should have been Dang. Then again, at least this movie isn't part of the Tiny Times franchise which she was in, so I should shut up. Ding is unkempt and ugly and weird and smells bad, and Stevie Wonder could see where this is gonna end up. But first, in order to rent the flat, Kit has to pass himself off as gay because Hong Kong, Asia's world city, is just so atavistic. I was actually glad that this premise got dropped really quickly. And I don't mean in the story. I just mean that for no apparent reason they stopped referencing it, so that by the time it pops back up late in the third act, I, and apparently everyone else in the movie, had forgotten about it. Speaking of things that you can and can't forget, Pepsi Cola stars as an unbelievably popular soft drink in France in a relationship with Lay's potato chips, which are also apparently really popular in France, if movies are real. These two appear often enough that they probably deserved a spot on the poster. Which is really more than I can say for Janice Mann's character, who's there for no reason I can understand. Unless maybe this was originally going to be a Chinese New Year movie. But, to be fair, she wears a leather jacket and her hair is dyed a very interesting color and she rides a motorcycle. I'm not going to say I minded looking at her. At different times in the movie, both Kit and Ding's exes show up in Paris, apparently under European Union plot contrivance regulations. Jeremy Zhu plays the ex-boyfriend. He made this movie before he played the bad guy in Bounty Hunters, where he apparently used a rabbit's lower intestine as a hairdryer. Candy Lou plays Lewis's ex, but she wasn't in Bounty Hunters, so I don't mind. Which is really the biggest revelation about the movie for me. I kept thinking I should be getting mad at it, or I should be disliking it, and I didn't. Part of the credit for that definitely goes to Louis Koo. He's actually really funny in the role, especially when he speaks English. It's hard for me to explain, and his English is not funny. I mean, he's funny in English. More than once, he made me laugh out loud because he surprised and entertained me. His comic timing is really, really good, and he's watchable enough in the movie that I started, frankly, to worry about myself. Here I was, enjoying a blatantly weightless rom-com that was inherently forgettable and cookie cutter, and seemed more than once to be just an excuse for a large number of people involved in a film project to go have a holiday in France. Paris Holiday isn't what I would call a good movie, but it's not bad. It's vapid and vacuous and void of substance. But so are 99% of romantic comedies from any country. Paris Holiday does what it's supposed to do. It looks nice, and there's some laughs to be found. The romance in the film doesn't always come off as believable, since there's really absolutely no chemistry between Koo and Kuo. But there's some comic chemistry, and I actually prefer that. To me, the most romantic thing in the movie comes in a subplot featuring Alex Fong the Elder. That one is really good. I actually appreciated that Kit and Ding spend almost the entire movie speaking to each other in two completely different dialects, and yet somehow they understand each other. But I think they did that because Louis Koo's Mandarin is famously bad. Paris Holiday was obviously a lot of fun to make. And I can't really be mad at anybody in this movie. Well, I'm still mad at Jeremy Zhu for Bounty Hunters, but he's okay in this movie. If you watch this movie, make sure you set your expectations low. I'm not trying to say it's a good film. What I will say is that for a disposable romantic comedy, you could do a hell of a lot worse. In the description, you'll find a link where you could buy a copy of this movie on Blu-ray or DVD. I don't care if you don't buy it from me, but I do care whether or not you buy it. Don't steal movies. If you enjoyed my review, please tell me. If you didn't, tell me. If you enjoyed the channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon.